Yo, Pastor, checking in. I see you. I appreciate you, Mr. T. Nelson, checking in. Where y'all from? Where y'all checking in from? Drop it in the comments there. Appreciate you all checking in for another episode of Courtside Conversations. We got another great one for you today. Where y'all coming in from? I see a couple of South Carolina. What part of South Carolina? That's home away from home for me. What part of South Carolina you in? Blessed for life too. Appreciate you all checking in. I see you, Ty Hoops, checking in. We got a great show. Fayetteville, North Carolina, checking in. VA, checking in. South Carolina is checking in. Wheezy to the J, I appreciate you checking in. Rob Cole, that's home. Robertson County is in the building. My girl, Amaya Joyner, I see you checking in. Amaya, I'll be calling you in the next day or two. Look for me to text you. We're going to talk about something. I see you tuning in. We're going to get you on this live real soon. We appreciate you all checking in as we got a great show. In the next few minutes, we're bringing in my guy, Mike Moses. If you don't know him, then hey, you out of touch. This man has been all over the hemisphere coaching and turning around programs, and we're excited to have him tonight. It's going to be fun. Shifty K, Kamari Wooten. Appreciate y'all all checking in again this week as the names keep rolling in as they always do. Jamar, Talia, appreciate you all checking in. Diddy, I see you checking in. Oh, we got them coming from all over this tonight. Another great show. We're not going to waste much time. We're going to bring my guy in. But before I do, I want to drop a little note here and say on Thursday, Courtside Conversations, we got my guy, Christian Brown, former Get Me Recruited MVP. Been knowing him since he was a young guy. He's going to be here Thursday. He's now with the Georgia Bulldogs, was a high major recruit. You don't want to miss that Thursday as we bring in Christian Brown. But tonight, it's the one and only Mike Moses Jr., the one and only, and I'm looking forward to him. Let's not waste much time. Let's find Coach Moses and let's have a good time talking to my guy. I'm excited about this one. Moses.
My guy, what's going on?
Dude, nobody
What's up,
like
man?
Mike Moses, man.
Come on, man. I'm trying to be like you, man. Come on now.
Man. Hey, look, you check all the boxes, man. It comes from college coaching, high school coaching, AAU coaching, fashionista. Oh, we ain't gonna talk about that.
a little swag.
That's the first thing you notice about Moses.
A little swag, man. I appreciate it. I definitely do, man.
Nah, man, we're excited to have you, man. And
I'm excited to be on here, man. You've been doing your thing for a long time, man. And, I definitely appreciate you and what you do for these kids. And, I was at a couple of your events as a coach when I was at Fayetteville State, man. And I remember when it was small, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I remember and that's how things start, man. So I remember when you were just getting started and it was kind of small, and now you're doing the things that you're doing just with the persistence of it. And I definitely appreciate you, man.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, man. And you know what, man? It wasn't really until I started doing this show that I realized just the relationships and the people I knew, and
for sure.
And it really becomes like, man, I know a lot of good people in the game, man. And I remember when you was at Fayetteville State. I used to go over there because my guy Corey was over there.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, and I used to go over there, man, and y'all little cramped up office in Fayetteville State.
Come on, man, down in the dungeon, man.
Yeah,
down in the dungeon, spent a lot of hours in there, no windows, no nothing, man, just grinding.
Yeah.
What's up, Kaya? What's up, girl? I see you.
Yeah, and over the years, to watch you grow as a person from that young fella to the mentor you are, man. And every guest I bring in, I read up on them, man, and research them. And they'll tell you every week. I don't care who it is. Sometimes it's some of my best friends, but I research them to find out things, man, and to find the things out about you was just so interesting. You know what I mean? That's the best thing. So before we get started, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody?
I'm Mike Moses, Coach Moses, whatever you're feeling like for the day. I'm from Detroit, Michigan, born in Harlem, New York. So I represent both of them equally. I was born in New York, and I love New York. I love Harlem, but I love Detroit equally. I finished high school in Detroit. A lot of friends, all of my teenage memories are in Detroit. I did a lot of things in Detroit. So yeah, I love Detroit just as well. I'm at St. Paul's High School right now. As the varsity women's coach. I was at Fayetteville State, like we said. I was at Fayetteville State for 6 years. Played at Fayetteville State as well. Alum there. I love it. I bleed blue. I'm Bronco all day. A lot of great memories there. I crossed into the greatest fraternity in the world, Kappa Alpha Psi there. So, I'm an HBCU guy, and I'm always promoting the HBCUs. That's just me, man. And like you said, man, I like sneakers. I like a little gear. I like to feel good about myself. I like to feel good about myself, man.
Yeah, we gonna talk about it a little bit, because I know them girls always talk about, look at Coach. Yeah, that's I can't wait to talk about it.
I tell students all the time, man. I tell those guys at the school, like, man, I'm the best dressed in the school. I don't care what you got on. I'm best dressed in the school.
Right,
just joking with them, but I like gear, man. I like gear.
That's good stuff, man. Hearing you grew up you were born in New York. I was born in New York. You actually remind me of my man Walt on Black Ink, but we ain't gonna talk about that.
I've heard that before. That's my show too.
Right. So, but growing up in Detroit, now I got friends in Detroit. I hear different, depending on, where you grew up and your life. But what was it like growing up in Detroit? To make you the guy you are today.
Man, Detroit is just a blue collar city, man. Everybody, like everyone says now, the term is get it out the mud, and that's what everybody does in Detroit, man. It's a city full of grinders. They're gonna find a way. A lot of people work at plants. Chrysler, GM, Ford. It's the Motor City, and it's just a city full of people that's gonna work, and they're gonna get it. And then on the outside of that, it's just a tough place. You can't be soft. It's not for the faint. You can't be soft. I moved to Detroit when I was in the 8th grade, and I was coming from New York. So you would think that, New York is a place where, you hear it's tough and this and that, which it is. But Detroit is just a different level. It's a different level. It's a different level, man. Because you could be you could be around the corner from your own house, and you still feel like, ooh.
Right.
Okay, something ain't right in here today. It ain't right. In New York it's a little different. In Harlem it's different, man. Everybody's more like family. And Detroit is family too, but Harlem is like, this person's mama, that person knew this person. So they're gonna make sure you're good, but Detroit different, man. You could be around, like I said, you could be around the corner from your house and be like, okay, yeah, it's time to get in.
That Chicago, Detroit, man, is
listen.
Different.
I'm gonna tell you like this, man. It's the whole Midwest, man, because Chicago, Detroit, Ohio, St. Louis, Indiana. People sleep on Indiana, man. Indiana. That Midwest is tough, man. But it just made me a strong person, made me a strong individual. And like every typical story, I played ball and I got out. I got out, but I love it. I love Detroit, and I love what the city stands for, what it represents. And it's a place that's just near and dear in my heart. I have it tattooed on me, so it's just near and dear to me.
Right. Now you're coaching now, of course, at St. Paul's with the girls, but you've been in basketball like literally your whole life. Like reading now, I knew your dad played, but I had forgotten. I forgot.
It's a long time, man.
Let me school the young folks that don't remember. Of course, they might have not been around, but '85, Final Four with St. John's. We had Bill Winnington, we had Mark Jackson,
Willie Glass,
Chris Mullen, and then your dad, Mike Moses Sr. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he was all Big East. So you had a dad that was and went on to play professionally as well as coach high major basketball.
For sure.
So you literally have been around it your whole life.
Entire
So
life, man.
entire life, man.
Yeah.
So talk about, and I read, I think one time they was talking to you. You were talking to, they were talking about Coach Key and so forth. And you were talking about mentors, and you was talking about how important your dad was to you.
For sure.
Talk a little bit about how important your dad was.
But I always talk about my dad, man. That's my guy. That's my best friend. Um, you know, and a lot of people, aren't blessed than like to have a father figure like that, to have the father figure actually be their father, their biological father. So yeah, my dad played ball, man, and he was nice. I mean, I ain't gonna sugarcoat it.
Right.
That man can play. Like
Right.
so, my dad he was a McDonald's All-American. He was one of the best players in the city. And New York was out just outrageous at this point in time with basketball. The basketball talent was just tremendous. So originally my dad had committed, he was going to go to Iona, right? So,
Okay.
Jim Valvano was there.
Yep.
So the
Yep.
class that he was going to bring in was my dad, my godfather, Steve Burt, and Gary Springer, whose son is
Okay.
Jaden Springer's
Yeah,
dad.
that's right.
Yeah, so Gary Springer was the #1 player in the country, and they all were going to go to Little Old Iona just to stay together because they've
That's
been best
crazy.
friends, right? So nobody really knows this story, right? But so that summer, my dad played with Gary and Steve all summer like he normally does, and then Gary and Steve was just kind of like butting heads a little bit, like, Mike, I need the ball. You gotta give me the ball. So my dad was just like, man, I can't take both of them for 4 years. I can't do it. So my
Right.
dad ended up going to Florida his freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
Went down to Florida and played well all SEC his freshman year.
Yeah.
He made the all SEC team and he was SEC freshman of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a matter for him. He just got homesick. We had some family things going on. My uncle had just been in a really bad accident. He was shot. And so my dad ended up going home just to play. I mean, he went to St. John's and he played with, the people that he's been playing with all his life.
Now, I read he thought about coming to state with Valvano,
He
but
was when he decided to transfer, the first place he took a visit to was, which is crazy, was Duke. It was
really,
Coach K's first year, and he went on campus. It was nothing going on campus. It was, I don't know what time of year it was, but it was it was like
yeah,
a dead period. It was no
right.
students there, nothing. He went to that small little gym. You know what it looked like, and he was just like, nah, this ain't it. But he said when he left, he was like Coach K's energy and his passion about the game. He said he knew they were going to be good. Then he
Mm-hmm.
was going to swing around to NC State, where Jimmy was, and when he got a couple phone calls, he talked to Chris, and Chris was on the phone with him now. Chris Mullen is he's a McDonald's All-American. He's
Right.
a All-American in the one of the best players in the country, and that was one of my dad's close friends. So he like, Mike, come here, we gonna win this thing, and
Mm-hmm.
that's really all it took, man. My dad
Mm-hmm.
went home, and they was close to winning. Part of the reason now why I can't really root for Carolina, because that's who they lost to. And then like to this day, my dad is like he gets furious. So I was raised to like when I got down here, I see all this baby blue. I'm like, nah, I'm not, nah, I ain't doing that. Like my dad would
Right.
kill me, right? So yeah, man. So I just been blessed, man. My dad was and still is just a major part of my life. He supports everything that I do. He came down last summer when we went to the Flight 22 event, and it's like 3 days, and he stayed 3 days and just evaluated the girls. He's basically my assistant coach from a distance. So like after every game, when I upload the film, the huddle, he's on it, letting me know like Talia needs to do this and Jakaya needs to do this. TJ looked horrible
Really,
today. Oh man, he's just like he's on it. So
good
anything
stuff.
if you get him on here right now, he can tell you everything about my team. And I mean, it's just a blessing, man. And I try to model him with my own kids, and it was like never a thing. Like I said, I've been around basketball all my life. My dad went to the league, all of that stuff, but he never pushed me to play basketball. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. The person that pushed me the most to play basketball is my grandmother. Like
Really,
my grandma was the one that's like, yeah, we going after church. You going outside. We gonna go.
right,
So my
right,
dad was just like, nah, when you ready to play, like, cause he's so serious about the game. So it was like, if you gonna BS, Like, no, we're not
That's
going out there. Like, we're not, because I'm gonna be too hard. It's gonna be bad for us. So when
that's
I
right.
decided to really play, then we really stepped into the gym and we got going, man. But he's been there, and I love him to death. And then as far as mentors, you mentioned Coach Key. Um, I can never repay that guy, man. He gave me a chance as soon as he got to Fayetteville State. Like, we sat down, we talked, and he was like, "Yeah, you're gonna be my manager." And I was like, "No, I didn't come in here to be the manager, though." Like,
Right.
So he was like, "No, that's where you're gonna start. You're gonna be the manager. So you're gonna be over the other managers, and then we'll see what happens from there." So I'm like, "All right, okay, cool. It's an opportunity." And then it went from that to me working the guards out, to him not wanting nobody to work the guards out but me. Checking classes, and then he just gave me more and more stuff to do. And looking back, that was the best way to do it. Like, I never want to be given anything. So that's me. Like, I'm gonna work. So, like,
Yeah.
wherever I'm at, I'm gonna work. I'm gonna take any opportunity, and I'm gonna do the best I can to make it work. So he gave me that opportunity, and then, like, by year 2, I'm going everywhere. Like, I'm recruiting, I'm at this game, I'm at your events. And he started listening more and more to what I had to say. Because at first I was just, I'm in the corner. He don't want to hear me. I'm going to be
Right.
honest with you. He don't
Right.
want to hear nothing I got to say. He don't want to hear
Right.
nothing.
Right. 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 Yeah. You the manager guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Are their grades good? Was
Right.
Terrell Tate in class? Was Jawan in class? That's all he wanted to hear. So I'm in the
Right.
meetings like this. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then it slowly went to, what you think about this kid? What you think about that kid? And I was like, yeah, here it go. So by, like, that 4th year, like, he was listening to everything I had to say. Like, Coach Thompson was the top assistant, and we just collabed on a lot of stuff. But Coach Key leaned on me for a lot of things, and I could never repay him for that opportunity. It was just a great opportunity.
Yeah. Now, did you feel, watching your dad coach,
hmm
did you feel like that steered you that way, or what point did you know you wanted to coach?
Yeah, see, so I was never the kid. I'm gonna be honest with you, like, being around so much basketball and watching so many people play, and, like, I was never that kid. Maybe, like, probably in the up into the 6th grade, but after 6th grade, like, I was never that kid that was like, I'm going to the league. Like, I never really, and it sounds crazy, man. A lot of people don't believe, but I never had a passion to go to the NBA. Like, that was never my thing. Like,
Mm.
I wanted to go to college. I wanted to go to a Division I school, and, like, that was more my thing. Like, I wanted that experience, because I was around so much basketball, and in the locker room, and on the road with my dad recruiting. Like, I never was the guy that was like, I'm going to the league, but I always was the guy like, I'm going to coach. I said, I'm gonna be a Division I coach, and I'm going to travel. I'm going to recruit. I'm going to train players. Like, that was my thing. And me and my dad laugh about that all the time. Like, I was never the I'm going to the NBA kid. Like, I'm going to coach, I'm going to recruit, and I'm going to do exactly what my dad did.
But hold up. But now, okay, I get that. Now you want to
Right,
be a
right,
coach, but
right.
we not gonna act like Mike couldn't get it on the court. Now we talking.
No, no, no,
No,
no.
hold on. Now we talking all CIAA, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Right,
sir.
and you can hoop, like you really can
No,
hoop,
no, I got
right?
game now. I ain't never said I couldn't go now. I could go. I put that thing in the basket for you now. I could
Right,
go. I just
right.
was like never that guy that, I mean, the NBA dream was never my dream. Like, so for me it was more like my dad just trilled in me like academics. So, you know, I was the guy that was really, and I still am, like the really, really smart kid, but nobody knew he was really that smart. Like,
Right,
I was
right,
like just kind of like blending in, but still doing my work.
right,
Yeah, I'm
right,
cool. Yeah, forget the books. I don't need my books, because I was impressionable. I was young, but then when them
right.
grades come out, it's like, "Hey, you got 3.8. Oh, when was you doing work?" Like, so, I just balanced that, but. Yeah, I could play. I definitely can play, and I still can play. I still
Well,
could do all right.
who your game resemble?
Who my game? Like in the league?
Yeah, in the league.
Uh, oh, in the league. I don't know, man. Like, I'm in the league. I don't know, man. I would say, like, I
Well,
would,
well, tell you what.
I think right now. Now, and it could just be me. Some people, I would think a little hint of Kyrie, just a little bit, just like a scoring guard that can really handle it. Like, I could pat it. Maybe with like a little Dame, like a little Kyrie and Dame splash. You know, no Steph Curry.
If you were doing a scouting report on you, what I'm
Yeah.
gonna hear?
Oh, okay. On me. Okay. Scouting report on me. This is fun. Okay. Uh, uh, well, so I would blanket myself, right? No room. Like, don't give me no room. Um, I would probably sit as low as I can. So I would probably sit on my right. So what's crazy is I'm right-handed, but like I did a lot left, right? So I would probably force myself right into some help. You gotta bring help. You can't sink, like the one-on-one thing doesn't work, right? So I'm forcing right with help off of ball screens. I'm hard hedging the ball screens to push me out because I'm looking to score, right?
Right,
And don't let me. So if I get to my left, like it's pretty much lights out. Like I love getting to the left, right? So also athletically get me before I get downhill, right? Before I get downhill, and ball fake a lot. So on the defensive end, ball fake, because I always jump past and land because I was trying to get on that break by myself and get a little and get a little creative. A little nice little layup here and there, you know. But yeah, man, I still could put it in the hole a little bit, man. I just be sore after though, just sore.
That's right. That's right. Now, I know we talked earlier. You're a big supporter of HBCUs. You went to Fayetteville State. What was So, and we've been talking a lot lately on this show about HBCUs. So, for a kid that is, considering a school, what was your experience like at Fayetteville State, and why would you say it should be at least a considerable choice for them to look at?
Look, my guy Kamari said Michael Redd. Nah, well, so listen, HBCUs, man, it's the best decision that I've ever made in my life. Just for the simple fact of the culture, being around your people. And I know a lot of people say you need diversity and you need to be around this or you need to be around that. You got your whole life to be around that. You know, when you walk into a campus, when you walk into a classroom at NC State, you walk into a lecture hall, it's 350 kids there. If after that lecture, if you're trying to get to the teacher, it's probably 60 kids in front of you. HBCUs are more intimate. You're not going to go through that. You know, you're being taught by people that, well, most of the times from the same walks of life. They care about you getting out of there. You're not just a number. Like they want you to get out of there. Like I've seen firsthand guidance counselors and administrators like push kids out the door, make sure they have the necessary things that they need to get out of there, to get in this real world, to get their degree. And you're not going to always get that at other institutions. Now, I'm not saying these institutions aren't good, but if you have a chance to go to an HBCU, it's just a different experience, man. Everybody's going crazy that Maker is going to Howard. Man, he went to Howard during Howard's homecoming. Come on, man. Ain't no more love than that. So I don't care. I don't care who you being recruited by. You can be getting recruited by Kentucky, Arizona. I mean, all of the top-notch schools. It's nothing like Howard at homecoming. It's not. It just doesn't compare. You're around 5,000 in one area. You're around 5,000 black people, beautiful black people at homecoming. Like, you can't turn that down. It's hard. And especially if you're a one and done guy, like, no, I'm gonna go get this love in DC. So I understand what Maker's doing. Like, I get it. Looking from the basketball, from the not just basketball, from the athletic side, you start getting these 5-star kids, man. Now ESPN has to be on your campus. They have to do a college game day at Howard. They're gonna do a college game day at Howard next year. They have to. What does that do? That brings more money to the school. So how the biggest argument is that HBCU monetarily can't provide what like a Carolina can. No, they can't, because they haven't had the Michael Jordans. They haven't had they don't have the names to draw in that money. So now look at during the pandemic, what's happening. Like people budgets are getting cut. Coaches are almost talking about being furloughed because it's not going to be a football season, which draws in the revenue from TV contracts. So now we're all back. Now we're all even. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like right now, today, we're even. So if you start these 5-star players start teaming up and go down there with Lavelle, go down there, go down there with him. Like Central's already good. So
Yep.
imagine Lavelle's doing this. Lavelle's doing what he's doing with two and maybe a 3-star guy, but kind of like 1-star guys. This is how like Lavelle's having this much success. Imagine if you get a 5-star kid in there, or 1 or 2, or a 4-star kid in there. What
Yep.
Central can do? They go to the tournament and they win a game. Like they win games. They get past the first round. Then of course they get like a big dog. They get like a Kentucky, and they fight tooth and nail. But imagine what kind of coaching Lavelle can do with a 5-star kid, a 4-star kid. You know, so.
Yep.
Like I just feel like these kids, the 5-star kids, should really consider HBCUs. I mean, especially if you're a kid that's going to be one and done. If we talking about giving back to your community and I want to help people in the hood, like yeah. So if you're only going to be on campus for 6 months, go ahead and help them get that TV money. There ain't no more giving back than that. You know,
Yeah.
like help them get some money when you get your contract and you go to the league, like kind of pour into the school. And then all it is going to be is a domino effect. It's going to start like Maker was first. Somebody's going to come after him.
Yeah.
Then somebody's going to come after him. And
Yeah.
then we're sending our kids, our race of kids, to these black colleges, and now we're just as good as the rest.
Yes.
So now we can compete. Now we can throw the big athletic facilities up. We can get a new practice facility where it looks good. It's like so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's about money, man. But I just think kids really need to consider HBCUs. Like one of my players now, she has what 3 Division I offers, and she's thinking about a HBCU. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm with it. Like, go ahead. Like,
And I understand you are, and even besides, I'm glad you mentioned her outside of the 5-star prospects. And we start talking about, just kids that can play.
For sure.
Not necessarily on ESPN, but they can play.
Mm-hmm.
Because like yourself, you were a D1 prospect,
right?
But you ended up at D2.
Yeah.
And people look at that, and I know better, but I want you to talk about it. They look at it as a knock. And
Right.
they really underestimate just how good D2 basketball is.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I want you to talk a little bit about how the perception of D2 is and then the reality of it.
Right. So for me, I'm gonna be honest with you, man.
You went JUCO, right?
Right. No, when I was in high school, I committed to Eastern Michigan. And then like a whole bunch of stuff was happening. SAT was getting flagged and all types of stuff was happening. So I went JUCO, and that was great for me as well. The JUCO competition was crazy. Like we had a really good league. So then right after that, like I was still getting recruited by Division I schools. I was getting recruited by Oakland University. I was getting recruited by Florida Atlantic, UCF, a few schools. But my thing was like I wanted to go to a black college, and that was my thing even when I was in high school, but it was kind of frowned upon, right? Like, no, you got this and you got that going. Like you need to go to a Division I school, and whatever the case may be. Now to piggyback on that, black colleges wasn't recruiting in Detroit. Like I never saw, like I went to Boo Williams, I went to Peach Jam, I went to all of these events and I played well at all of them, and I never heard from a black college. So that's part of the problem too, as well. But I'll touch back on that. But so I didn't know. So I was like, I wanted to go to a black college off rip. I was a huge fan of A Different World. And that was like my thing. Like I want to go to a black college. So when I had the opportunity, my AAU coach, Coach Walker, he reached out to some buddies and he was like, yeah, I got, my guy, like he wants to go to a black college and he has Division I offers, like he can go, but he wants to go to a black college. So then immediately I started getting a lot of black college contacting me. And what I did was I went on visits. I went to A&T, I went to Fayetteville State, I went to Bowie, I went to Alabama A&M, and I went to Morgan. And all of those schools, I had a great time there, but for me, it was about winning. If I'm going to go to a black college, I want to win. And like D1 and D2 was thrown out the window for me, especially when it came down to the CIAA, because the CIAA is a mid-major conference. If you put those schools, if you put Winston-Salem State, Fayetteville State, or any of these schools in the MEAC, they will be fine. They will
Right.
be perfectly fine. The only difference between those schools are the athletics. So and to be a Division I school, you have to have 10 varsity sports. So all of these schools in the CIAA, they don't have 10 sports. So if they got
Mm-hmm.
10 sports, they'll be fine in the MEAC. So that wasn't the things for me. I went to the CIAA tournament that year, saw Fayetteville State lose to Virginia Union, who had four guys that were amazing at Virginia Union. Darius Hargrove, who was like top 50 in his class. How he ended up there, I don't know to this day. But I was like, no, this is a good conference. So as I started breaking it down, it just ended. It turned out to, like, for me, it was about weather. So my last two schools was Fayetteville State and Bowie, and it was like head to head. And the Fayetteville State coach now is Coach Luke. He was at Bowie when I was coming out, and it came down to just weather and feel. And Fayetteville State just felt like home for me, man. And that's ultimately the school that I picked. And it's like I said, it was the best decision that I made, man.
Yeah, and the last couple of weeks we were really talking about HBCUs. We've been
Right.
talking about the racial injustice that we're going, that's on the forefront now, and the
My
protests
bad.
and so forth. And I've been asking everyone, just as I've shared some experiences, but I want you to share, if you have any experiences as a Black man, some racial injustice that you can come to mind.
Man, we don't even have a show long enough for that, man. Like I've been, man, I've been in the
And
middle of
mind
a
you,
few things.
I bring this up because no matter who comes on this show, I
Hmm.
like to show them, no matter what position or how successful they are,
Yeah.
we all have felt.
Oh man, yeah. You can't change your skin. At the end of the day, we're not changing our skin, so we're gonna always be subjected to it. But most recently for me, um, I was at UNC Pembroke. For those who don't know UNCP,
That's my
um,
alma mater. And
right. I went to their homecoming this year, this past October. And like I said, I'm Greek. I'm in a fraternity, so all of the fraternity guys, so the Kappas, the Omegas, the AKs, the Deltas, we were all in one section of the parking lot. And the officer came through. So mind you, before he came, you have to put all of your stuff. You have to be packing up before the football game starts at Pembroke. So at Fayetteville State, we stay out there all day. But at Pembroke, you have to be packing up by 3 o'clock. The DJ just made an announcement, or was it 4 o'clock? It was 4 o'clock. The DJ just made an announcement, probably at 3:45. Hey, come get your last plate. We about to start packing stuff up. Blah blah blah. Football game about to start. He just made the announcement. So one of the officers came through and he said, "Hey, start getting your stuff together." No, he's yelling, "Get your stuff together. It's time to go. It's time to go." I can't make this up. Maybe like a minute right after him, an officer came through with mace and he's spraying
come
everybody.
on, Mike.
I
Oh,
don't. I'm surprised you didn't hear about this.
oh
So
no.
he's spraying everybody. Everybody's on this front line and they're choking and they're coughing. And so I was behind. So it didn't really get to me as bad as everybody else, right? But he's spraying, spraying, spraying. So after he starts spraying, so now the guy that was on the grill, he's almost dying. Like he's choking, can't breathe. A girl was choking and she backed up. She got hit by a car. Like the car
What?
hit her and she fell. The guy ended up getting fired because the alumni people knew some of the officers, or whatever the case may be. But as I was walking so I'm getting my stuff together. As I'm walking to my car, um, they're like, "Well, where are you coming from?" And I was like, from the parking lot. And he was like, "Is this your car?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's my car." And he just started like he was like looking and he flashed the light in the car. I'm like, "Bro, I ain't got nothing." He was like, "Oh, what are you? Don't talk to me, son. Don't talk to me, son." Indian guy. "Don't talk to me, son. I don't want to hear your mouth. I don't want to hear it." And I'm like, "Bro, I know where this is going. You got it. Like you
Right,
got it, bro." Like I'm like,
right.
"All right, say whatever you want. You got it." He flashed a light. And then another cop came and he was like, one of the other sheriffs was like, "Coach Moses, you getting out of here?" And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Oh, he coaches down at St. Paul's, blah blah blah." And the guy kind of like eased up a little bit. Man, I got in my car and I told myself like I ain't never going back to Pembroke like ever again. And
Yeah,
then and then what just happened with the march and the rally down there. So
that's
like
terrible.
that's my most recent thing, man. But at the end of the day, the sad thing is, man, we are immune to this, and we shouldn't be. You know, we're
Yep.
immune to this social injustice because we're black men, and our black women are being treated the same way. You know, so it's sad to say, but you know, we know something has to be done, and when it's gonna be done, I don't know. But yeah, man, it's just at the end of the day, we can't change our skin. So we have to live in this. We have to fight for it. I've been fighting for it. I've been an advocate, way before it was popular. My
Right.
family has always been. I come from the the Moses side of my family are Muslim. My dad isn't, but they're like radical Muslims. So
Mm.
like they
Right.
be off the chain with it, like
Right.
nah, so I'm not there with it, but I understand it. Like I understand, like
They out of
sometimes,
Harlem?
yep, for sure,
Oh yeah, yeah. No
for
question.
sure, for sure.
No question.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Minister Farrakhan Muslims,
Yeah.
right? But
No
they
question.
but the thing is, like I grew up listening to the minister and this different things, and I know that some of the stuff he has always said has been taken the wrong way, but a lot of it is true, man. And,
Mhm.
people could think how they want. I have my own beliefs in certain things, but I know for a fact that, we're treated wrong. And until something is done, until people stand up, until people, once we start acting radical and we start acting crazy, then it's like, okay, let's try to fix this. But why? I
Yeah.
mean, I don't think we
Right.
should have to get there. It shouldn't have to get there.
Right.
So, and that's another reason why I just love, supporting black colleges, supporting black businesses, supporting black coaches.
Yeah.
Like I really support black coaches, man. Like on the high school level, college level, like I'm gonna support black coaches. Like the game that we lost this year, to North Lenore. The
Mhm.
coach is a great guy, man. Great guy, man. Me and him chopped it up, and that's just what it's about for me. Just
Right.
uplifting my people, uplifting the students, and I love all of the kids at my high school, the Indian kids, the white kids. I mean, I grew up around all of those races, um,
Yeah.
but I'm
Yeah.
gonna push those black kids a little harder. I just am. My standard for them is a little more because I know it's going to take more for those
Take
black
that.
men to make it. You know what I'm saying? It's going to take more, and that's another reason, man, why I continue to be myself. Like I can put on a suit and I got plenty of them, and I can look however you want me to look in this suit. But like I'm the guy that's gonna wear joggers and wear Jordans, and
Yeah.
like I want y'all to see, like you can balance this. Like you don't have,
Absolutely.
yeah, you can balance this. Like you can wear your Jordans, you can wear your joggers, you can do whatever you need to do as long as you're doing what you need to do in the classroom. Like,
Yes,
don't
sir.
let nobody tell you you can't. Like, I coach and I purposely coach with a polo. I always coach in polos because I have tattoos. I want these kids to see I have tattoos. I got a tattoo on my leg that say Black Lives Matter. I got a tattoo on the back of my neck, a black fist. Like I have tattoos. Like that's not gonna stop me from getting no job if I'm
Yes.
qualified and I'm educated and I'm ready to go. Like I don't have nothing crazy, nothing on my neck, nothing on my face, but like I grew up in the Allen Iverson era, and that's what I'm
Yeah.
trying to get people to understand. Like this, my generation was Allen Iverson, so we all had tattoos. Now that generation is transferring to coaches, so
Yeah.
don't be scared to show like what you have on your body. Like you got it
Yeah.
for a reason. Like show it, and if somebody has a problem with it, then ultimately they have a problem with you. Like, so
Right.
I'm never like, because I was told for so long, like, yeah, you should coach it, and because you got tattoos, you wear a long shirt. And at first, I was buying into that, and I started saying like, no, I'm gonna be me because
Definitely.
those high school kids respect that. So my
Right.
level of respect at St. Paul's is totally different. My level of respect in Robertson County is totally different because I'm not looking down on those kids. Like I tell them, like
That's
I've
right.
been there. I'm the same person that like I'm just mature. But y'all got tattoos, I got tattoos. Y'all want to get the new J's? I want to get the new J's too. I'm trying to beat
Right.
you, like
Right.
So
Right. Right.
it's just I just always push to these kids just to constantly be yourself, man, and like don't let nobody take your dreams away. No tattoos, no shoes. Like yeah, your pants shouldn't be hanging off your. I hate that, but
Right.
like you could still be yourself, man. Continue to be yourself, and kids respect that
Right. Right. And I always teach versatility, man.
for sure,
Versatility.
for sure.
I teach that all the time because I tell them when I was growing up and all my friends smoked weed, but they knew what that just wasn't my thing. You know what I
For
mean?
sure. Uh-huh.
I could hang with them, we could be cool, but when
Yeah.
when I was around, they was like, "Nah, mine don't do that," and we
Yeah.
still cool. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. And I
If
was the
they your
same. I
friends, they
was
gonna respect that.
Right. And I was the same way in the hood, man. When I go to the hood now, like I'm going to the corner store, like I'm on the block with it, like with my guy, because those are my friends. Like no matter what they're doing in their life,
Yep.
like we grew up together. And like I'm not out there long and I'm not out there, I'm not out there, you know, doing nothing crazy, but I'm gonna go speak to my friends. Like I'm never too big to talk to my childhood friends. And when I
That's
was growing up, when I was in Detroit, like they made sure we wasn't on the corner, like you said, like they
that,
made sure we was in the right spot. Like if it's getting late and we at that corner store, they're like, yo, you got to go in the crib. Come on, man. Don't you got a
that's
game tomorrow, little boy? Come
that's
on,
right.
get out.
That's right.
And so that's what it's about. And that's what this generation is missing. More OGs. Like everybody call each other big bro and all that. It's no
Right.
real OGs because the real
That's
OG is not letting you stay out there.
that's right. No, that's good
That's just
stuff,
it.
man. That's good stuff. I'm glad you talked about that. They really need to hear that.
For sure.
But you coached 6 years at Fayetteville State as a college coach on the men's side, and then now you're at St. Paul's, and
Right.
you're coaching high school girls.
Yeah.
Talk about those two transitions and going from college to high school and then boys to girls and turning that program around. Like, you know
Right.
what I mean?
Right.
Talk
Right.
about that, man.
Coaching girls is different, man. Coaching girls is different, man. And
Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't know how equipped I was for the job. And I'm always confident in everything, man. But
right, right,
that
right.
was different. My first 2 weeks there, um, in the summertime after I took the job, I spent 2 weeks, Lamont, chasing kids around that parents were taking them out of the school. And I don't like good basketball players. Some were good, some were decent. Some was just okay, but at the time, I just needed everybody.
Right.
But I had a meeting with these parents, Lamont, and I tell you, man, it was like, ooh, it was thick in there because I'm like, I'm pitching a program, I'm pitching my ideas, and I'm like, this is how, this is what I see, this is what I'm gonna do, and parents are just in there like, for one, I mean, the one thing and the one concern was no coaches coming here to recruit these kids at St. Paul's. And I was like, really? Like, why do you think that? Like, I coached on the college level. We turn in every rock to find every kid. Like, no
Right.
coaches coming out here. So my next thing is, we're gonna get better. We're gonna be in the gym. Oh no, I'm sending my kid to such and such school in Fayetteville because they get to work out in the summertime. And so I'm like, it's coming. Like, I just got here. Like that's gonna be our standard. Like, trust me. Just kind of believe in what I want to do. Ultimately, I didn't get those kids left, right? Those kids left,
Oh, really?
and
Oh, okay.
they left, man. And like I always, um, the only parent that was like, all right, coach, I'm gonna give you, I'm gonna give you a shot. Was TJ Eichelberger's mom, Miss Brenda. Like she pulled me to the side and she was like, TJ really likes you. Um, she don't. I want her to stay close. I want her to stay in St. Paul's, and we just gonna see, coach. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Everybody else left, right? And we lost. So that year we lost. Like that summer we lost 4 girls, and then TJ came in as a freshman, and we just kind of went from there, man. We hit the ground running because I knew, I knew what I was capable of doing, me, right? But it was just like, am I going to be able to transition to the women's side? And can I coach the same way I coach guys? Can I coach these girls like that? And that's what I struggled with at first. Like my first like month of workouts, like I wasn't myself. Like it was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. Knowing in my head, I'm like, that's terrible. That's
Right.
terrible, man. But I was like
Right.
holding, like, it's okay, it's okay, sweetie. Oh wait, don't say sweetie because they
Don't
girls.
say
Don't
sweet.
say sweetie. Don't they trying to get in no trouble. So I was like, I was just so uncomfortable, man. Like for like a month, I was so uncomfortable. Then finally, I went to my principal. I was like, man, listen, I can't do this. Like, I can't coach the way I want to coach. Like, I need you to help me figure this out. And he was like, what do you mean? So we sat down and we talked, and I told him, like, I'm not myself. Like, I'm not yelling. I ain't yelled at nobody yet. And I'm a yeller. Like, I yell when I'm upset. And he was like, listen, I got you here for it. Like, I called you for this job. Like, I know you know what you're doing. Just be yourself. Like, just, coach them. And so I talked to him that day, and then I talked to my dad that night. And my dad was like, stop coaching. This is the biggest advice I got with coaching girls, right? From my dad, who's never coached women in his life. He said, stop coach. He said, Moses, stop coaching gender and coach basketball. And I was like, wow. He was like, whatever you're equipped, you know what you're talking about. Coach them the same way you will coach guys. When you're putting them through your player development stuff, the same mistakes that you would get on the guy about, get on them about, or the program won't grow. So that next day I came in there charged, like, yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm yelling, and they was kind of looking at me, oh man, like, coach on one. And then I think that was the turning point, man. And like we made everything a standard, man. Like, and we had a really good year this year, and people know that 27 in 1 year, like it just didn't come out the blue. Like we've been grinding. Like those girls run cross country every single year. It's mandatory they run cross country. I'm the cross country coach. So we're running cross country. We're lifting weights. We have 5:30 workouts, 5:30 in the morning. Like we're working out in the morning 3 days a week. Like we're getting to it. So once that started, it started weeding out the people that didn't want to be there. So if you're really not a basketball player, if you really don't love it, you can't deal with that. So now I have girls that love it and that believe. So I started working with them, and then the program became more attractive. That first year we were after going 3-25, right? That the year before I got there, in my first year we was 14-12. Then that next year after that we were 20-8. We didn't make the state tournament because we got into that fight at South Robinson and the benches cleared, right? So we was ineligible for the state tournament. Then this year we was 27-1. We have, 5 Division I prospects. Talia Council's recruiting just went through the roof. TJ and Jakaya and Tamira. So, we kind of just flipped it around off of working hard though, like just really getting it out the mud. So now we go from a program that's not talked about 3 years ago to now being mentioned with E. Smith and Jack Britt. It's like the best schools in our area, because we're the best school in Robertson County, and I'll say that proudly. But the best schools in our area is E. Smith, Jack Britt, and us. And like even to be mentioned with them is kind of like, whoa, like that happened quick. Like D. Hardy, Coach Nat MacArthur, like they're legends, man. They've been putting in work, and I love their programs, and I love them to death as coaches, as people. But to like sneak our way in there with that in the conversation with them, it's just a blessing. And then all of the girls just buying in. Like I've been blessed not to have to deal with the outside shenanigans. Like a lot of coaches have really good teams, but they're stressed out because they got to deal with parents. They got to deal with AAU coaches. They got to deal with attitudes and egos. Like these parents at St. Paul's have given me their kid, and they've got out of the way. Because I have a meeting every year, and I let parents know. I mean, we have it every single year. I'm going to coach, and you're going to cheer. I'm not, like, I have a rule. I don't talk to parents like right after the game because I'm worked up, you worked up. That don't go well. Parents can't come in the back, so I leave it open. Like they can tell me and talk to me and ask me whatever they want, just not after a game. And I let them know just because we have a conversation doesn't mean it's going to change how I feel. Like if your daughter not playing, she's not working hard enough, then she's not going to play. But I still, yet to this day, I haven't had to have one of those conversations because the parents are just like, Coach, you got it. We're going to stay out the way. Yeah, they're going to stay out the way, man. And you can't ask for more than that. Like, so to have those parents like that, and then my coaching staff is just tremendous. Like my coaching staff, to me, they're next level. Like they're next level. Jamar Thompson, Susan Waldy, Jameisha Ward. Like we work so well together. It's ridiculous. And then Jamar tells me all the time, like before he joined the staff, like, everybody in Robertson County was like, "Oh, you're not going to be able to work with Moses. He's an alpha, he's an alpha male, and he's not going to listen." And it's the total opposite. Like I listen to everything they have to say collectively. Now, of course, I'm going to make the last decision, but I'm like, hey, like if you're on my staff, I'm like, Lamont, what you see right now? Like, what should we do? Like, what, and you be like, Moses, let's come out of this, let's do this, and I'm going to evaluate it real quick. Yeah, you out. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man.
No, that's great, man. And you were loaded with. I love between TJ and Jakaya, and that Jakaya is gonna be something. She's gonna be something special. Yeah, she's so special, man. It's ridiculous, man. Her motor is
like one I've never seen before.
Yeah.
Like her motor, she's just continuously going, and she's gonna get better, and she's grinding. But yeah, man, that's just it. I have a really good group, man, and even this year, having Big Baby leaving us is gonna be, it's gonna
Yeah.
be tough. But it's been a blessing, man. It's
Yeah.
been definitely been a blessing.
You've done a great job, man. I mean, I went to a couple of games myself.
Hmm.
I love going down there because,
That's
I
home for
got
you.
two of my guys are there. You and
Yeah.
Coach Corey, so I make my way down there every year. Now, before we end this, I want to talk about, what's next for Mike, because you had the opportunity at one time to coach at Lumberton. You had the opportunity to coach at Southview,
Right.
but you're still at St. Paul's.
Right.
Is that where you want to leave your legacy, or are you trying to get back to college? What's next for Mike?
For me, the Southview thing was just it would have been a great opportunity. Um, but man, I'm a guy, like, I follow my heart, man, and I follow my soul. And when I took the job quick, like, they called me, I went and talked to the principal, it was mine, and it posted really, really fast. I didn't get to talk to nobody. Like, they was excited about me. I was excited about going. It's Southview. If you're from Fayetteville, you understand, like, Southview is a spot. If you turn it around, it's gold. Um, the thing was, man, like you said earlier when we first started, you never know your impact until you start, till you kind of, things start hitting you.
Yeah.
And I took that job, but we still had 2 months left of school. So I'm at school every day with these girls that know I'm
Right.
leaving, with these students that know I'm leaving. And I got a couple letters, man, and they kind of just moved me. And I'm like, and it's not even like my basketball players, like, those girls were hurt. But I got letters from regular students, like guys that I talked to, that I started mentoring.
Right.
And I'm like, man, God, like, this is tough. Like, I didn't know. Like, for me, it's about basketball. So I'm thinking the next basketball move. That's what we're
Yeah.
trained to do as coaches. Career, like, you're going to meet people along the way. They're going to become family, but you leave. So that's where my mind is at, right? But at that moment, I was like, yo, okay, it's something special here. Like, and it's outside of basketball, even like the
Right.
football players. Like, I'm huge. Like, I love our football staff, and like, I'm on the sideline every game. Like, I'm a coach. I don't coach nothing, but Coach Setzer want me out there for support. So we've all just got so close. I was like, this is home. I don't know if Southview going to be home, and on top of that, Cumberland County took forever to clear me. So, but as they started taking longer and longer, I was like, listen, I talked to the principal, and I was like, hey, I'm going to be really good up the street. Like, we're going to be good. Like, so
Right.
I need to know, and then I was like, you know what? And I called her, and, we kind of talked, and I was like, I'm just kind of going to stay where I'm at. Thank you for the opportunity, or whatever the case may be. So I'm still at St. Paul's, clearly, right? But for me, next, man, getting to the college side is very doable for me right now. I don't know when. Like, I'm just moving at God's speed, man. So wherever he leads me, that's what I'm gonna do. But I definitely, that's definitely a dream of mine to, and I haven't coached college girls, so it's definitely a goal of mine to get back to the college side. When I have no idea. Um, we so special right now at St. Paul's, man, for some years.
Right.
So that'll be that decision to come later down the line. If something, it has to be something good, man. And we on this live, like, I've turned down 2 jobs already, and just because it wasn't all the way right for me.
Right.
I turned down
Right.
2 jobs, and it wasn't all the way right, and one was okay, to whereas, like, I know that program is going to turn around. They just got a new coach, and she's going to turn it around tremendously. But just like all of everything didn't line up. So when the opportunity comes, if it's right, I'm going to evaluate it. Sit down, talk to my dad, and then I'll go from there. But I don't have to leave. I don't have to go nowhere. Like, I ain't in no rush to get out. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
I got a real long contract at St. Paul's, man. Like, they not gonna put me out of there. So,
Right.
and then
Right.
like, Ja'Kiah's a freshman or sophomore now. We got a 2024 class that's really good, man. This 2024 class is good. 3 of those freshmen are going to play varsity, and they're going to play. TJ's cousin and the girl from the middle school. Yeah, so we're gonna be all right, man. So I'm not in a rush, but I definitely do want to get to the college side just to kind of see where I'm at, and like I know for a fact I'll be able to get on the road and recruit and evaluate and player development. So I'm just moving at God's speed. But if the right opportunity comes and if it's a perfect fit for me, it's gonna take a perfect fit for me to leave St. Paul's. And I will not go to another high school. I won't leave St. Paul's and go to another high school at all.
And there you hear it, folks. Moses, he said he's not going to do it. And Mike, I appreciate you coming. You got some good people over there.
For sure.
From your athletic director to Mike Setzer that you mentioned, the football
That's my
coach.
guy. That's my guy.
Yeah, me and Mike go back to working out at the fitness center together.
Man, it's just crazy how things, because we're not the only program thriving. Like the football program is thriving, and just to piggyback on like the family aspect, man. Like the way I was supporting the football team, Coach Setzer pulled me to the side and he was like, I really appreciate you coming out there every game and blah, blah, blah. He was like, during basketball season, Moses, you're going to have to drag me out of the gym. I give you my word. And I tell you, man, like even on the road, him and his wife is there with their son and he carrying in this chair, and he was invested. Our football coach, Coach Randall, who coaches at Fayetteville State as well. Like he's there. He was telling the boys, like, "No, I'm leaving after the girls' game. Like I'm only coming to see the girls." So like it's just we just have a really good thing going in the school. Period. The energy is good. Kids want to be a part of that good energy, man. Like we're not biting each other in the back. We're rooting for each other. And
I definitely see that because you really have a good group, man. And I appreciate you coming on, man, and talking about so many different things. Yeah. And so everybody that comes on, they know we end the show. We got a 2-minute drill for you right before we go. 2-minute drill. You ready? 2-minute drill. We're going to play a game called Drip or Drop, knowing that you the fashionista